Hello, my friends. It is Jody Harvilla, psychic medium, spiritual teacher, pretty badass space clear. And I wanted to just share a few tips with you today. 3 ways to know if you're holding yourself back. And I know that self sabotage and allowing fear to get in our way and all those different kinds of things really can come into play when we're trying to move forward and we're trying to like shove ourselves to take the next step. And I found over the years, I'm really an experiential learner. And so I tend to teach a lot of experiences as well, because I think it's important for you guys to learn how to feel your way, sense your way through things, how to work with spirit in different ways that are maybe a little bit fun. And so everything isn't quite so serious. But I also found that I didn't always know when I was holding myself back. And I didn't always realize when I wasn't open and receptive and open to receive and different things. But I found that different things would happen or different visuals would come into my head from spirit that really were like, oh, that's kind of handy. That is really good to have in my back pocket to check in with myself and check in with where I'm at with things. One of them is pay attention to your body. And so there was a year that I was really focused on being intentional about being open and being open to receive. And a lot of people were great givers, but we kind of suck at receiving. And so I teach a lot about being open to receive, whether it's financially, whether it's abundance, whether it's open to receive support or help or ideas, or just open to spirit or open to energy moving through us. And what I found was, it was really funny that whole year I kept noticing that I would be standing or sitting or whatever, and my fists would be so balled up and so tight. And I was like, God, I wonder what that is. Like I did, it took me a long time to figure it out. But I was like, what is that all about? And then finally, spirit was like, when you're not being open, your hands are showing you that you're not being open. And I was like, well, damn, that is very handy to know. So if maybe I'm in a little bit of lack thinking, or maybe I am nervous about something, or I have a bad attitude about something, but I wasn't open to the energy moving through me or receiving anything. And so my hands would ball up to show me. And so when I find that I'm doing that, because it still happens to this day, I will like stretch my hands open. I'll be like, okay, I'm open, I'm open, I'm open. And I will spend a little time, whether it's in meditation or just sitting quietly, maybe journaling some intentions, or just kind of readjusting my mindset a little bit to be like, okay, I'm open to receive. I'm open to receive. And I literally will put my hands out in front of me and just kind of have that space where I remind myself to be open, or I really open up my arms and I stay there as long as I can until I can start to feel myself that I actually really am open to receive all the good in the universe. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is kind of a fun visualization. So I'm going to have you close your eyes and just take a breath for a second. You should do this anyways, several times a day. Just close your eyes and take a breath. Okay. And what I want you to do is visualize being in a boat. Could be a big boat, could be a little boat. Just see what shows up for you. Use your imagination. Okay. And see if you can create that vision. And I want you to put your boat in a river. Okay. And I want you to notice, first of all, are you alone in your boat, or is there anyone with you? And the answer should come really fast. That's intuition when it comes really fast. And then I want you to notice, are you going downstream with the current, or are you trying to go upstream against the current, which obviously is harder? And if you're one of those that are going upstream, I would imagine life is a little annoying right now, a little tough. Okay. Maybe you keep running into walls and things aren't working and your momentum is going the wrong way. Turn your boat around. Turn your boat around and get it pointing downstream. Okay. And then decide if you want the river. Maybe it's moving too slow. Maybe you got to speed it up a little bit so you can increase the current. Maybe it's going way fast and it's like whitewater and you need it to slow down. So go ahead and slow it down. Maybe you need to pay attention to who's in the boat with you. Maybe you need to add in some angels. Maybe you need to bring God, universe, spirit, whatever that is to you into the boat. Maybe you want some family in your boat. Maybe you need to kick some family off your boat. Maybe you need some support team people in your boat. I got to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. I got to sneeze a little bit. Maybe you need to have a bigger boat. Maybe you just want you and spirit in your boat and you want a smaller boat. The point is, you get to choose the boat. You also get to choose if you're going upstream or downstream. And going downstream is the goal because then you're in the flow. When you're going upstream, it's so much harder. There's so much more effort. There's so much more work. And a lot of us get used to that vibration. And it's hard for us to feel safe when we turn the boat around and go downstream and things are smooth and like, oh, wow, like everything's working. What the hell? And it takes a little getting used to, but it's such a great visual. And a lot of people, you might need a little practice doing it, but a lot of people can feel that shift as soon as they turn their boat around. So I love that visual. That came in years and years and years ago, and I use it all the time because if I'm in a part of my life and I'm like, what is going on? I have to check my boat and which direction it's going, because a lot of times that will help shift my mindset too. It'll just be like, oh, okay, I'm making this much harder. I'm self-sabotaging, or I have a mindset that's not serving me, or old stories, or whatever it might be. So turn your boat around, downstream. Fill it with support, fill it with people that you love, fill it with nobody, just you and spirit, like whatever you need. Make it a bigger boat, smaller boat, doesn't matter. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3 is a fun one too. And so you're going to go ahead and keep your eyes closed or close them again. And you're going to imagine that you're driving your car or a car. Maybe you want a nicer car. Okay, just imagine you're at the wheel. And I want you to pay attention to where your feet are. Are they on the gas pedal? Is it on the brakes? Maybe you have one foot on the brakes, one foot on the gas pedal. That's typically where I find myself. If I'm like, oh, I need to kind of check in with myself, I got one foot on the brake and one foot on the gas. And then I'm like riding both of them, which isn't really smooth. That's not really in the flow. That's kind of running a little bit more fear-based and my sabotage or whatever. And so like I'm a little cautious. And so I have to take my foot off the brake and I got to press down on the gas pedal and I need to go. Okay. And I usually put some beautiful scene, like maybe I'm riding next to, driving next to the ocean, or I'm driving in the mountains, or, whatever it is. I put myself in a really beautiful place, but I put my foot on the gas pedal, take my foot off the brake. Sometimes people have both feet on the brakes and they're like, nope. That's typically if you're being really stubborn about something and you just want to be right, or you really are in kind of a strong cycle of self-sabotage for yourself. And so you put both feet on the brakes, just take them off the brakes, put one on the gas and just go a little bit. You can go faster, you can go slower, you can pull over and stop for a minute if you need to. Doesn't matter. You can, sometimes you're going too fast and you need to put your foot on the brake a little bit. Maybe life is going so fast and you're having a hard time keeping up with your blessings, as my mentor would say. And so maybe you need to put the brakes on a little bit. But I loved that one. And what was really funny, my physical car, my real car, typically will tell me if there's some things that are happening. And I had to laugh the other day. My car was not making a very good sound. And I was like, I got a road trip coming up. I better go take it in. And the guy was laughing. He was like, oh my God, like your brakes are metal. Like you have totally, like completely killed your brakes. And so I needed new brakes, both in the front and the back. And I started laughing. And I was like, yeah, I kind of been running the brakes lately. Like that makes sense to me. And my husband's like, no, you drive like a race car driver. That's the problem. I'm like, nah, I think it's more like how I've been kind of approaching some different things in life this year, because I've been making changes and growing and expanding and doing new systems and like all this different stuff. So it kind of made me laugh. I was like, well, damn, I got to stop riding those brakes. And so I did this meditation. Sure enough, my foot was kind of on and off the brake more than it needs to be. And it's again, getting used to being in the flow. and learning some different tips and tricks and games that you can play with yourself and different ways that you can work with spirit, different ways over the years that I've learned that you can move that energy and do it in a gentle way and kind of a playful way. I think that does help. Not everything needs to be so serious, and get your energy moving forward again. Okay. So we teach a lot of classes around this kind of energy. Spirit School is a piece of that. We do a lot of this kind of work in Spirit School. I teach a lot of different kinds of classes on all of this kind of energy work and how to move yourself forward, mindset work and energy and connecting with spirit and all the things. So if there is some way that I can support you through this piece, or maybe you need some more personal information and some personal time, so then we can do some one-on-one mentoring. Like, there's a lot of different choices, and it just depends where you're at and what you're looking for. But if we can be of any kind of support, please reach out, and myself or one of my assistants will help you and get you signed up for a class or a session or clearing or whatever we can do to support you on your journey. Okay. All right, friends. I'm Jody Harvilla, psychic medium, and I cannot wait to get to know you even more. Bye, guys. See you next time.